YouTube, the Goat House is back with, and it's not really a free agents breakdown. It's a potential trade target breakdown. Justin Houston is the trade target we're talking about today. I guess he could be cut, and then he could be a free agent, but I think because of the talk at the Combine between the Chiefs and other teams, we're predicting him to be traded. Now, which team could he be traded to? We got quite a few teams up here that could need an edge rusher. He's been playing in a 3-4 as a 3-4 outside linebacker. I think he has potential to play as a 4-3 end, but maybe most people would think the 3-4 is more likely. But these teams you see on the board, they have 30 or more million in cap space. Now, why did I do these teams? Well, because he's gonna be a 21 million cap hit. That's a lot of money. A lot of money. So teams are interested. I don't know if all these teams are interested, but I think these are the teams that would be, most likely to do it. So basically what we do here, it's just like the free agency video. We're going to remove teams one by one until we're left with the one most likely landing spot. Sometimes we have multiple options. We disagree sometimes. Sometimes we're all in agreement, and then we know exactly where he's going. Right before we start, go ahead and check out our Twitter and our Instagram. Links for both in the description. They're both fairly new, posting a lot of stuff daily on both, talking a lot about the Combine on our Twitter, and still 3 days left of the Combine. So check it out. Be much appreciated. Any teams you guys want to take off right off the bat?
Well, I just got to start here. I'm not taking off a team, but I hate when teams come out and just straight up say they're trying to trade someone. And, what if all these teams have in their brain, they're like, oh, they're going to release him if nobody trades for him. Like, what if everyone has that in their brain? He's going to get cut.
It's kind of hard to believe that they would just cut Justin Houston, though. He's still very, very productive. First, before we start removing teams, since he has to be traded, what would you trade for Justin Houston? What would everybody trade? What do you think he's going to get traded for?
I think his contract kind of makes his value less.
Yeah. And he's getting up there in age.
He's still very talented.
I don't know. I don't know what I'd give.
I think it's going to take a third or a fourth. I think he's worthy of more. But, yeah, the cap hit. A lot of these teams are desperate for pass rush, and a lot of these teams have a lot of cap space.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I'm thinking, maybe fourth because of that, but he's definitely worthy of a second, maybe a third, but because of that cap hit. But any teams we want to take off? I already have a couple teams in mind for who I think he's going to go to, be traded to.
I got one, actually. I can take
Go
off.
ahead.
I'm going to take off the Packers right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
The Packers have the most picks in this draft, and if I'm the Packers, I'm keeping it that way. It's not worth getting rid of picks and getting some older pass rush.
They could use two starting pass rushers, though.
Right, but
so
you got the picks.
Desperate.
You got the picks to do so. Yeah, that's why I would do it. If I'm the Packers, again, I'm not doing it.
I think about it if I'm the Packers, but I think they're more likely to bring in cap in a different way.
Agree.
Maybe a specific receiver.
Agree.
Maybe, yeah. That's what I'm kind of thinking.
A receiver with a blonde mustache and blue hair?
Maybe.
I'm
not going to say yes or no to that.
All right, okay. Pete?
I don't know. We'll say this. I feel like I'm not going to eliminate teams because of this, but I feel like the only teams that should go for them are like contenders. I feel like,
or teams with an insane amount of cap space.
I guess, but all those teams should be like rebuilding and acquiring young talent instead of trading away draft picks for an older guy like this. So, not saying it could happen though, but I'm just saying I wouldn't do it. But I'm gonna get rid of. Jeez, I don't know. I'm gonna get rid of the Rams.
So you're taking off the contender.
Yeah, you just contradicted.
That didn't work. Well, I said it might not happen, but I said if I were like a contender, I would trade for him. But if I weren't a contender, I would not.
You just don't think the Rams do it?
I don't think the Rams do it. Yeah.
I think they have cap space, but
I think they got money to spend elsewhere.
If you had a young team, young defense that had potential, and you're kind of on the edge, would you like? That's like a veteran presence I would want.
It depends on what pick it would take.
Well, if you're a young team that's like good.
Yeah, no, a young team that's on the edge. I'm not going to say bad, not going to say good, because there's a couple up here that are on the edge.
Yeah.
No, that was actually a good joke.
I mean, the Colts
'cause
were
he is
very
an
good
edge.
last year. You know, they're not guaranteed to be back in the playoffs, so this helps them get back there.
The Colts are a contender, so I would take, yeah.
Yeah, and the Browns, too. They
Like,
could
if I
potentially be a playoff
if
team.
I were the Cardinals, like, no.
No? All right,
Wouldn't do
let's
it.
take off the Cardinals, then.
Oh,
That'd be a nice pairing with Chandler Jones.
He could be. They could also take one first overall. Maybe they don't.
yeah.
I just don't know if they trade for a guy like this. Yeah, I think they're too. If there was a team that's in the rebuild process, the earliest stages, I think they're one of them. They're definitely up there, maybe the top one. So yeah,
I'm gonna take off Houston. I'm gonna take you off. Houston has been very kind of vocal, saying that they need or they want more pass rush than Clowney and Watt, which is kind of crazy. But I don't know. I think that they're gonna throw the Brinks trucks at.
I think you're taking them
Jadeveon.
off too early there.
They're gonna throw the money at Jadeveon, and they're not gonna come take a nut.
They
They're
got
have all
more
that-
money still.
They're gonna have all that money on the D line. That's crazy. There's
Not
no
on
way.
the D line. It's off the ball. They're 3-4.
That's still nuts. I just don't see it happening. I think that the amount of money Clowney's going to get paid, it's just you just can't do that. You can't do that and expect to be a successful team throwing all money at one position or one group of positions. You just can't do that. Especially them, they have a bunch of other needs that they need to space the money out.
Okay.
I'm going to take the Jets off.
The Jets.
Yeah. Just another team where, like, think they'll rebuild through the draft. I don't think they're going to waste a pick on a guy like this.
All right. I'll take the Chiefs off because we're predicting to be traded, perhaps. Maybe the Chiefs.
What a snake of a pick.
Yeah, he's just picking. He's got snake picks. He took the Cardinals off.
Yeah,
That was
after you
basically,
said it.
me.
That's who I was going to take off, though, because
Well, we're going to snake draft this, so you're going to go again here.
I'm going to go again.
Yeah.
Let me take the Chiefs off first. I'm going to go again, and I'm going to take off the. I'm going to take off the Seahawks. They're going to get Frank Clark back. They're still going to have money. But I don't think they trade away a pick here. I don't think they have a lot of picks, so I think it's unlikely.
Okay.
Am I up then?
Yeah, snake rules.
Snake rules. I'm going to take the Titans off. Yeah. No, they already traded a 6th-rounder for Correa last year, so I don't think John's going to use another pick on a trade. I think he wants to try and, like last draft, he only had 4 picks in the draft. He traded a lot, so I think this year he's going to try and get more picks rather than get rid of them all, so that's why.
Okay.
I'm going to take off the Steelers. Taking them off.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let me clarify something. I said all the teams up here had $30+ million in cap space. The Steelers actually don't yet, but with trading Antonio Brown, they would have over that.
Right. And I think this is what kind of scares me about taking them off here. They could get a little trade happy once they trade Antonio Brown and just be like, ooh, we can make some moves here.
Yeah.
But I think them doing that trade almost, I'm not going to say it puts them in a rebuild because it doesn't, but it kind of sets you in the way that, like, you guys are going young. You're going young, and you're trying to, like, I know they could still compete for a championship, but I don't think you come bring in a guy like this. They're a team that's gonna be back in it. Honestly, I do think we'll be better once they trade Antonio Brown. But I guess I don't know. There's better fits up here that I think would be more interested in trading for him.
Okay.
Take it away.
It's me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a little disappointed on who you guys are taking off the board. Let me just say that. So if you're a fan of a team with a team off the board, I would stick around. I'm bringing 2 teams back on the board.
Whoa, you can't do that.
I'm going to do it.
I know who you're bringing back.
There's
Whoa.
2 teams.
I know who he's bringing back.
But if I had to take one of these teams off, see, here's the problem, what we did here. There's a problem. His whole career he played in a 3-4. Yeah, he probably can play a 4-3. I think he has the strength. But but there's no 3-4 team remaining. The Lions kind of play a little bit of a hybrid, but they just re-signed to Okwara, which I think is similar to Justin Houston. They just paid that to Okwara, not a whole bunch, but I'll take off the Lions for that reason. Don't think they're going to have 2 of those guys. I think they want a guy that can play more on the ball, on the line. on the line.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. But I don't like how many 4-3 teams we have left. I think a couple of these teams I think will be willing. Well, a team like the Raiders, they have Arden Keys, kind of known as more of an off-the-ball guy too, but they're basically at 4-3. So the Niners, they're a 4-3, but they got a bunch of guys that I feel like fit a 3-4 better. So I guess it's realistic that he can go there. I don't know, but it's not my turn. Somebody else's turn.
I think it's Pete.
My turn, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Colts off. I don't think. Yeah, he doesn't really fit their defense, and I don't think the Chiefs, like the other trade targets we talked about too. I don't think like teams want to trade like one of their players to a contender in the same conference or same division, same conference. So I don't think they're gonna give them to the Colts.
Well, if they're going same division here, I think you're going to want to take off them Raiders.
Good point.
Even though the Raiders got some years before they're a successful team, I'd say. It's not really much of a stretch, but I would say that.
I'll take off the Bills. I just think out of these 3 teams, I think the other 2 are a little more likely than the Bills. Just a gut feeling, kind of. It's possible. Probably can find a better fit elsewhere, and they continue to go through the draft. These 2 teams can continue to go through the draft too. Or, I mean, they're both ready to make the next step, though, and they both have the cap space. So I think it's realistic that either of these teams can take him, but I think he could fit a little better elsewhere.
Bring back your team.
Who are you bringing back?
I know he's bringing
I'm going to move the Niners over here by the Browns. There's 2 teams, that popped them ahead first. And
Rams, Steelers.
Neither of them.
Oh.
The Rams, definitely would consider the Rams, but that's not one of the 2 teams I would bring back. Definitely would. The Rams are a legitimate spot, I think. But the Texans were one. They're looking for pass rush, and they have the cap space even if they sign Clowney, and I think they can do it. I think they can bring him in. They have some draft picks they can trade. Obviously, maybe they want to hang on to him, but I think they're able to do it. And another team to me was the Jets, because they have an insane amount of cap space. They're apparently keeping their 3-4 defense according to Greg Williams, and they could easily upgrade it here. Like I said, they have a bunch of cap space. The one downside about the Jets is that they traded away picks last year, and they're trying to gain them back now by trading back with the 3rd pick. So you don't want to give up more picks, but at the same time, if they're confident they can trade back with the 3rd pick, they can gain a bunch of picks while they can use one for Justin Houston. So, I think if the Jets are able to, I think the Houston trade would come first, but if they're confident they would be able to gain picks during the draft, they can afford to do this. So, I guess because some things need to happen there, I guess I'm saying my pick is the Texans. But I do like the Jets. I do like the Rams as well.
Ooh.
But I'm going to go with the Texans. It is tough because they got to throw money at Clowney, and they're going to do it at the opposite position. I think they would, though. It's a contending team. They're pretty desperate for another pass rusher. They have picks. They got 2 second-rounders. Not saying they're going to use one to trade for him, but it's good to have those 2 second-rounders. Through the second round, you're making 3 picks. So I think you can afford to trade another pick for a guy like Justin Houston. So this one's hard to predict because you can't really choose where he's going. It's a trade most likely. So my gut feeling says the Texans. I do like the Jets and the Rams, though, like I said.
My gut is kind of leaning towards the Browns here. We know that Dorsey has been aggressive when it comes to trading and trading away, if I'm honest. But I don't know. I think that
something I just realized is Dorsey was the GM of the Chiefs.
See, I'm making connections all over the board today. I didn't even see that one in my brain. But
yeah, I just realized it now.
You connected the dots for me. But I also see that the Browns, to me, like I was saying earlier when I was trying to be like generic to Pete, that the Browns are that team that's on the cusp. They're right there. They are going to be, if not this upcoming year, the year after, they will be successful and they will be a winning playoff football team. But I think that this is the kind of guy you want to bring in. You want to bring him into that locker room, into those like that defense with a veteran mind like this. I don't know. I think possibilities are endless. I love the fit, so that's who I would take. I'd take Cleveland. Pete,
this is tough. I like the Browns too. I think that's probably a top pick for me. I like the Niners probably second. I like the Steelers probably third. I just like like Junior said already, the Browns are pretty good fit, and like Dorsey's connection there too. But
he likes a good deal too. Dorsey likes a good deal.
yeah,
I'm
feel like
almost starting to lean towards the Browns, but I'll just stick with my gut.
I like the 49ers as well. I think like John Lynch is pretty aggressive GM himself. So and someone who's in the NFC too, so it's like away from the AFC. That kind of goes back to what I was thinking with that. And then the Steelers, you guys kind of talked about already. I think they're gonna be kind of trade happy after they gained some picks with the Antonio Brown trade. They could like afford to trade some of those picks away for something they need, like a pass rusher. So I think that's why.
But the Antonio Brown, you would think the Antonio Brown trade has to happen first, from what it sounds like. I'm kind of surprised Houston didn't get traded yet. I thought it would happen by now because they were pretty advanced talks, I heard. So
we got to upload this fast.
So yeah, we got to upload this as soon as we're done recording it here. But we got 2 picks up there. You guys are almost persuading me to the Browns, but I always like sticking to my gut feeling. The Texans, I think, will be interested. But yeah, maybe they'll look for an NFC team to trade him to, like the Niners or the Rams. So I guess maybe that's what they're waiting around for. We will see. I think he's still a top pass rusher if healthy, but he takes a pretty big cap hit there.
Isn't he the all-time leading tackler?
No, it was Derek Johnson.
No, that was Derek Johnson.
You idiot.
I was trying to like run that through my brain.
Justin Houston.
I was like, that doesn't sound
Derek
right.
Johnson.
It didn't sound right. Didn't sound right in my brain, okay?
Anyways, follow our stuff. There's links in the descriptions for our stuff, and there's a lot of good stuff on our stuff.
Ooh.
I don't know why that's always my go-to, the stuff. I don't know. Our subscriber goal is 20K. If you don't subscribe to our channel,
what are you doing?
Well, yeah, what are you doing? Lots of just action, free agency predictions, free agency content coverage, NFL draft, NFL combine, mock drafts, in-season predictions, power rankings, all kinds of fun stuff. Click the like button. That'd be much appreciated as well. That's going to do it for this one, though. Stay tuned for plenty more. Goodbye.